Hello, Sadler Stars! Today I'm coming to you with a new art challenge. This one is to make what's called a cootie catcher or a fortune teller. I loved to make these when I was young. I love the way they felt in my hands. Now these can be a little complicated for someone younger to make and fold. The folds have to be pretty precise for this to work well. So I'm going to have to ask that you get a parent or a big brother or sister to help you make it. If you are using plain normal white paper, lined or typing, and you don't have a square, a good way to make it is to line up your edge and fold the diagonal. So I have it lined up nice and straight there. Then you can mark this line or fold it neatly and cut there. That's a reason for folding. It's really easy to make that mark. But that gives you a line that you can cut on to get a square. Find the center of a cootie catcher on a plain white paper. I always fold one diagonal, which I already have done. And I line up my corners, fold the opposite diagonal, and that gives me the center of the page that I'm going to be folding each of the flaps towards as I work my way around the paper. But right now, I want to switch over and use the one that is printed on. So if you're starting with the printed one, the first thing you're going to want to do is flip it over upside down. And you don't have to fold your diagonals on this one first because these little dotted lines are your first fold. So just go till you have your dotted line right here, crease it, work your way around. And all four of these should come to the middle, which will form a square again. It may not be perfectly on the dotted line. It does better if you're having trouble getting on the dotted line. It's better to leave a little gap or an opening. Bring that up closer to the camera. A gap is better than overlapping. They're hard to work with overlapping. So after you've folded all four corners to the middle, you flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing again. Fold the corners to the middle. Don't fold it past the middle. Go a little short if you need to again. It's better to not quite touch the center than to go over it. I think you guys will probably need to help all the younger children with this. I sometimes do this with second graders at school, but I run around to the tables and help a lot of them. So if you choose this option, you're going to have to help your child do it, but it's kind of magical to have one of these when they're done. Pretty fun. So that's all the folding. The crayons are on one side, the numbers are on the other. Then just fold and unfold. Whoops, I bent the paper a little. That won't end anything. I want to fold and unfold a few times. It gets them kind of ready to work. Makes them soft on the folds. And after you've done that a few times, I call this inflating it. I don't know if there's a word for it, but you have to be able to get your fingers into all four corners. Put your other finger in the middle here. Slowly bring it up. I hope a lot of you made these as children where it's just kind of a review of how to do it, because now you have the cootie catcher. This one still needs a little work getting inflated. And then they can do something like, say, choose a color, and they choose red. And you go R, E, D, and then you say choose a number. You might look in there and say, I want 4. And you open and close it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back on the same one. This time you ask him to choose a number, and let's say I chose 2. Now I'm going to open the flap and see what's under 2. When I'm under 2, it tells me to start my drawing with a sun or a moon. So if I was doing a little drawing, we're getting blue because I have blue out here, the first thing I need to do is draw a sun or a moon. Since I've got the blue, I'm going to choose moon. And I could play this game again, chicka 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 chicka, a few times, and I might get, oh, now I need to draw an insect, so I'm going to choose a ladybug. There's a ladybug flying towards my moon now. Put some little dealy boppers, some spots, and I could play the game again and add more things to my landscape to have a mystery drawing that I make using the fortune teller. And I hope your children will enjoy this week. These are also really fun when you have a plain one. You can decorate them any way you want. And if you don't feel like fortune catchers are your thing, you can feel free to do the scavenger hunt instead, or any of the previous activities we have done.